Hi, my name is Brescia.
And my name is Shaquita.
And welcome to Searching for Freedom. So, welcome back to another Friday, you guys. Today, we're going to be talking about cycles. So, we know so often we can see ourselves going back into bad habits or situations that we're just used to or things that we've done for survival. So, we want to talk about what do you do, because we know that we're intentional about breaking those cycles. What do you do when you start to see those little hints that those cycles are starting to come back up and come back around? What do you do to help prepare yourself so that you don't continue to repeat those same patterns?
I would say for me, well, first I had to recognize that a cycle was coming back up, that I was repeating the same cycle, because sometimes I didn't know, but that would take community, or it would take someone like calling it out, like, hey girl, you okay? But what would I do? At first I used to try to tuck things under the rug, like just like, oh, I'm okay, and then just keep going, like I'll be all right. But then I had to realize, like, that wasn't helping. That's why I'm repeating the same cycle. So I need to get somebody involved, like, my accountability partner, my community. I need to also, like, go before God. That's what I do. Like, I have to sit in his presence, like, okay, God, this is coming back up again. And I need your help to help me to grow through this, not just to get over it, or to just like, oh, I gotta let this go. It's like no, let it go. I've grown. Like, I'm a Christian now. I shouldn't, like, that cycle shouldn't be a worry of mine. Like, I can just keep going. I can quote a Bible scripture and I'm all right. But sometimes that don't work. Like, it's like, okay, God, this is obviously something I need to bring to you, and I need your help to help me to get through it. So that's what I do. Friends, accountability partners, and I go before God. That's what I do.
Oh, you are 100% correct, because I know so often I'll start thinking, especially when I first started my walk, it's just like, okay, I'm doing this. I gave my life to Christ. Like, this shouldn't be an issue anymore. Like, it should just be okay. Like, everything's gonna be all right. So it's like you just push it to the side. It's like, you know what? It's all right. Like, I got this. I'm not gonna fall into these same things that I've been doing over and over.
Say a quick prayer.
Right. It's just like, oh, I'm good. But then it sneaks up on you because you keep putting it to the back burner. It's like, no, you actually have to address what the issue is. And not only that, like, you have to think of different ways, because even the same things that I did when I first started my walk, those same things, I can't fight the same way now.
Yeah.
Like, things change, and you have to realize that you have to be creative when it comes to it. And girl, and some things, they still say the same. Sometimes you do have to go back to your old roots. Like, in the beginning, like, I used to worship all the time, like even through, like, I would worship what the pain was. So even now I would realize that, okay, in situations like this, just saying a quick prayer or being like, you know what, let me just change my mind or change my thoughts. It's not going to happen. It's going to be okay. Like, no, like, you have to face it head on and start worshiping in the middle of it, and just be like, you know what, this is not going to take me out. Like, this is not going to cause me to backtrack, because we know that when we start going in those same cycles and we start doing that, then we start feeling bad about ourselves, because we feel like, you know what, I'm supposed to be better than this. I've been doing this for so long. Like, I feel like I should know better, or I should be further along. And that condemnation can really make you feel like you're not doing what you should be, or not walking in the way that you should be as a daughter of the King. So you have to be intentional about, one, just realizing that this is something that's real. Not blaming yourself or thinking that you are worse because it's something that you thought of or something that's coming up. Like, anger is a real thing. Like, you're not going to get everything perfect. Parenting, trying to have patience, like, all of the things, no matter what the situation is, like, it comes back around, because you're human. Like, this is something we're going to deal with all the time, because the enemy is very real and you are very human. So we just have to think of different ways to be able to address it and not just sweep it under the rug.
I agree. And then something that I'm even doing now, which is therapy. Like, going to get help to say, hey, like, like, yeah, like, you have your accountability. Yes, you have your community. Yes, you have God. But certain things, God has given people gifts. to be able to help you talk through what's happening, because some things are generational, some things are a result of what has happened to you, whether it was maybe some type of physical or verbal abuse. So sometimes you may be responding or reacting out of something that has triggered you, but going to therapy to help you address it and help you to move forward from it is how I combat cycles, because I don't like repeating cycles. Like, I love growing, I love being able to move forward and break new ground, but sometimes you just need a little extra help. Sometimes that self-motivation is not enough. So yeah.
And in addition to that, the word says that some things have to be broken by fasting.
Yeah.
So sometimes our flesh is stronger than our spirit. We may not have been in the word as much. We may not be around the community that we should be, or we may be doing all those things. And it's just one of those situations where you just cannot do it on your own. Your flesh is not strong enough. So you have to go in for prayer and fasting so that God can fight those battles for you as he should.
And I can say for me, back in, it was 2018, and before I started walking with Christ, I just kept finding myself in these bad relationships, and they would last for years, 3 and 4 years. I'm like, why I keep ending up in these toxic relationships? But then I was in a small group, and I was like telling them what was going on, and they didn't judge me. They were just like, you think that's God? And I was, like, you just got out of this relationship, now you in another one? You think God would do that to you? And I was like, well, I don't know. This guy's nice. He's going to church with me and everything. And they was like,
the devil know how to dress them up.
Right. And put a bow on them. And so this one guy, I was like, oh man, like, it's the personality, the chemistry, all of that was there. We liked the same thing, but even that, sameness is not enough. You look for that oneness and get the approval from God first. But I was young, I didn't know, and so my friend at the time, my friend was just like speaking life into me, like, hey, you, like people look up to you, like you've been walking in this walk for a long time, well, for a few months now, and like you got, like, God has a calling on your life, like, don't, like, this is from the enemy, like, and I need you to shake this. And I was like, I don't know, and so I had to fast. Like, all that to say, like, in order to break that, like, I had to fast from this person. I had to be honest with the guy and was like, this isn't going to work. We're not, we both, he didn't have a belief in God or anything. So it all showed, all the red flag was there, like this wasn't the guy. But I had to fast. And when I did that, I was able to break free from my flesh, like die of my flesh, and realize, wait a minute. Like it's like the heavens open, and it was the scales fell from my eyes, and it was like, what was I thinking? And from that day forward, I started like, wait a minute. I need to get myself together. I need to get my heart together. I'm tired of repeating the same cycles when it comes to my flesh. It's time to die to it. And, wait on God to bring me, to bring forth the God, man who finds a wife finds a good thing, so yeah, fasting, it does help.
So yeah, I would definitely say that things that we have learned has really helped when it's coming to breaking cycles and trying not to repeat the same things over and over. It's just, one, acknowledging that it's real. Mm-hmm. 2, not trying to think that you can do it on your own, thinking that, okay, out of sight, out of mind, because that is so not true. Mm-hmm. The enemy, he is very crafty and he will bring it up. Mm-hmm. There are times where I would be fighting during the day and it's like, okay, it's completely fine, I got this. But then the attacks come in my sleep. And it's just like, all right, so now you have to think of different creative ways. You have to start praying about this specifically before you go to sleep. I had to start putting on worship music or mm-hmm. sermons while I go to sleep, because it's real. And those things will manifest when you wake up. Mm-hmm. So making sure that you're not just ignoring it or thinking that you got it on your own. Fasting, prayer, accountability, and using the resources that God's given us here on earth, like mm-hmm. therapy as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you guys got this. You know, definitely don't try to fight on your own. Number one. Even, you know, Jesus sent the disciples out 2 by 2. So don't try to fight it on your own. Know that God is definitely the source, and he give us resources around us to help us to combat these cycles. Because God has, Jeremiah 29:11, you don't know, that is my scripture, and Ephesians 2:10, those are my scriptures. But I truly believe God has a plan and purpose for us, and sometimes our past doors that were open would try to stop us. You know, it would try to stop our action from moving forward. So keep trusting in God, keep believing, keep walking with us on this freedom journey, and we can combat these cycles together. Mm-hmm.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Hey guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Smash that notification bell so you